The spirit of the North Coast. This is Redwood News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for choosing Redwood News. I'm John Kennedy O'Connor. We begin tonight with some scary moments for passengers aboard American Airlines Flight 3130, heading to the Humboldt County Airport from Phoenix. That plane had to make an emergency landing late this afternoon in Fresno after the pilot reported a cracked windshield over Mono Lake during the flight. The plane experienced a brief loss of cabin pressure due to the crack, but no one was injured. About 60 passengers were taken off the damaged plane in Fresno and transferred to another aircraft. That flight arrived safely into McKinleyville around 7 p.m. this evening. The incident comes after American announced it will discontinue Humboldt County Airport service to Phoenix as of August 15th. American had launched the direct flight from Humboldt to Phoenix about 10 months ago. American didn't indicate a reason for the dropping of the route, but air carriers have been facing higher fuel costs and staff shortages. The nationwide mask mandate for airplanes and other forms of public transportation is on hold tonight. As our Jen Sullivan shows us, it comes after a federal judge today blocked enforcement of the law.
A ruling on the Biden administration's nationwide mask mandate on planes and public transportation, handed down by a U.S. district judge in Florida, says the mandate was unlawful, that the CDC exceeded its statutory authority and its implementation violated administrative law.
This is obviously a disappointing decision. The CDC continues recommending wearing a mask in public transit.
Right now, the ruling has the effect of invalidating the regulation. The Justice Department can request an emergency order to keep mask rules in place while an appeal is underway. Just last week, the CDC extended its mask mandate on public transportation through May 3rd.
I certainly hope this is the last extension, and we're all hoping come May 3rd that the mandate expires and the government now puts it on individuals to make their own decisions about how they care and protect themselves from any kind of health risk rather than the government mandating it.
This, as a group of business owners and residents have now filed a joint lawsuit against the city of Philadelphia after becoming the first major U.S. city to reinstate its indoor mask mandates.
I want to see the state Commonwealth Court strike down this mandate as violative of Pennsylvania law.
Jen Sullivan, Redwood News.
New at 11, after 9 months, Crescent City police say a missing 14-year-old girl has been found in Nevada. Cachuana Wisenant was located over the weekend by Nevada State Troopers, and her stepfather, 39-year-old Santos Flores Roman, is now under arrest. Crescent City authorities say he's charged with concealing the girl from her parents. Elsewhere, a Northern California woman pleaded guilty today to faking her own abduction in a case that got national attention. In 2016, Sherry Papini of Redding ran away from her home and family to stay with her ex-boyfriend. But she claimed 2 Hispanic women kidnapped her at gunpoint and tortured her. Papini then collected money from the State Victims Compensation Fund to pay for home improvements and therapy. Today she pleaded guilty to fraud and faces up to 25 years in prison when she's sentenced in July. New details are emerging tonight about an autistic teenager who vanished without trace 3 years ago from his home in Northern California in the community of Clear Lake. Reporter Camila Bernal brings us the emotional family reunion after he was found in Utah.
My sweetheart's alive. Oh my God.
Deputy body cam video capturing the cries of a mother who was searching for her son for nearly 3 years.
We're just grateful that he is safe, he's alive, and we have our son back.
Now 19-year-old Connor Jack Oswald was reported missing in Clear Lake, California in September of 2019.
The missing person photo that we located was this.
Yeah, that's...
And then the photo that came from Nevada for the arrest was this.
Holy crap.
Is it him?
A little bit older, but yeah.
And what stood out to me was the ears.
He was more than 700 miles from where he was last seen.
You look like you're shivering.
Authorities in Summit County, Utah had been receiving calls about a young man wandering the area with a shopping cart for several weeks.
Where's your shopping cart at?
Oh, it's stolen.
He was not breaking the law, but deputies said he had refused their help.
You want to come sit in his car and warm up for a minute?
On April 9th, a little warmth made a big difference.
Go ahead and sit in my front passenger seat where it's warm.
They scanned his fingerprint, and a dispatcher later culled through pages and pages of missing children and finally came across Oswald. Authorities contacted his mother, and she told them he had a distinctive birthmark on his neck. Deputies found it. Then his stepfather went to Utah to identify him in person.
Honestly, I'm still dumbstruck by the whole situation.
And when it was confirmed, his mom's reaction bringing the room to tears.
Can you go get him, please?
An autism specialist is now working with Connor Jack Oswald in an attempt to fill in the blanks and determine what transpired in the 3 years that he's been missing. Humboldt County Sheriff's deputies are investigating the discovery of human remains in Garberville. The skeletal remains were found in a drainage area near downtown Garberville. They were discovered by an environmental surveyor off Melville Road. Due to decomposition, deputies haven't yet been able to identify the person, and the coroner is working to determine how that individual died. An Arcata man is under arrest after drug agents say they caught him trying to smuggle 2,000 fentanyl pills into Humboldt County. 22-year-old Lucas Adams is the latest accused drug trafficker to be caught after authorities tracked him as he picked up drugs elsewhere and drove them up the Highway 101 corridor. In addition to seizing the pills, drug agents say they also found weapons and identity theft equipment. Elsewhere, a shooting investigation at a Eureka motel has led to the drug arrests of 2 Los Angeles residents. Police say the pair were seen fleeing from the shooting scene in the 1600 block of 4th Street. While no one was hurt in the shooting, officers later found the pair hiding at another motel in Arcata. That's where police seized 3 pounds of meth and 2 pounds of marijuana. Meanwhile, this wanted felon was arrested with a cache of weapons, ammunition and drugs at a Willow Creek home alongside children. Deputies say 44-year-old Harvey Robert Cruz Jr. had numerous firearms along with 1,600 rounds of ammo and a supply of heroin. Cruz is in jail while the children's mother has been charged with child endangerment and the kids removed from the home. A Northern California teen is dead after officials say she was stabbed at her high school earlier today by a 40-year-old intruder. Police say the man drove to Stagg High School in Stockton, entered the building and stabbed the 15-year-old girl multiple times. The teen died a short time later at the hospital. The man is in custody and police are looking for a motive for the attack.
Our officers in SUSD immediately began performing life-saving measures, and she was transported to a nearby hospital, and that's when we were told ultimately that she succumbed to her injuries. We do believe we have the suspect in custody, so I think the public could rest assured as far as that. We're still in the early stages of investigation, so I can't really answer to the motive or relationship.
A USA Today front page expose has put a Cal Poly Humboldt professor in the national spotlight for sexual misconduct. The newspaper explored why education professor John Lee is still teaching at Cal Poly Humboldt, even though the university upheld sexual harassment complaints against him back in 2016. At the time, Lee was the dean of the Professional Studies Department and he was fired for groping 2 colleagues. But, as USA Today uncovered, a clause in his contract allowed him the right to a full-time faculty job, despite being fired as an administrator. A Cal Poly Humboldt spokesperson says the university has since made changes to its contract language. Environmental and fishing groups discussed plans today to sue PG&E over the now defunct Potter Valley Powerhouse project. As our Christina Bautista explains, the groups want dams removed that they say have led to big fish kills in violation of the Endangered Species Act.
PG&E no longer has take coverage for listed species, meaning that they can no longer harm, harass, directly kill or injure salmon steelhead at their project site.
A coalition of 5 environmental and fishing groups intend to sue PG&E to seek protection for salmon and steelhead harmed by PG&E's Potter Valley project.
So what is obvious to us that the current fish passage operation is functionally broken and leads to take.
The environmental and fishing group are giving PG&E 60 days to solve the issue. Otherwise, we'll be moving forward with the legal process.
There's a solution here that involves removal of the dams, operation, or opening up that 288 linear river miles of habitat above Scott Dam.
Scientists claim the Eel River saw 80,000 Chinook salmon return in a good year, but that number has drastically decreased to about 3,000. The low productivity causing fisheries to close down for decades now.
But this dam removal gives us a chance to undo that damage. And what that would do is it would restore access to something over 200 miles of once historically fully occupied, still pretty good shape, habitat, spawning and marine habitat above where the dams are now.
The utility company has released a statement saying PG&E has received a notice of intent to sue for the Friends of the Eel River. The potential claims described in the notice are without merit. PG&E is strongly committed to environmental responsibility, and we are operating the Potter Valley project in full compliance with the National Marine Fisheries Service's biological opinion and its incidental take statement, which is incorporated into the Potter Valley license.
Needs now is for PG&E to step up the plate, utilize the tools that we've given them directly, as well as put in the public record, and apply for the only solution we think is feasible, which is the removal of both dams.
Reporting in Mendocino County, Christina Bautista, Redwood News.
Sutter Coast nurses in Crescent City were among thousands of Sutter Health nurses across Northern California that staged a one-day strike today. But tonight, those who participated say Sutter is now locking them out for the rest of the week because of today's pickets. The walkout took place at 18 locations operated by Sutter Health in NorCal as contract talks are stalled after 10 months. The California Nurses Association says 8,000 members took part in the one-day strike to protest against staffing and safety issues. In a statement, Sutter Health maintains it offers competitive wages and pandemic protections. Negotiations are expected to resume soon with a federal moderator. New at 11, an arrest has just been made of a suspect accused of starting a massive 5-alarm blaze in the San Francisco Bay Area. That huge inferno earlier this month destroyed a Home Depot store in San Jose, but fortunately no one was injured. Federal and local authorities have scheduled a news conference tomorrow morning to provide details about the arson arrest. Now to Ukraine, where Russia's long-anticipated large-scale offensive is underway tonight. Reporter Susan McGuinness has a look at the war entering now a bloodier phase.
The widely expected new Russian assault on eastern Ukraine has begun. Ukrainian officials said today the battle for the Donbas region is underway, with a large segment of Russian forces concentrated on that offensive. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vowing Ukraine will defend itself. The new offensive comes after Russian attacks on the port city of Mariupol, on Lviv in the west, and Kharkiv in the east, which also destroyed celebrity chef Jose Andrea's charity food kitchen.
Ukrainians are fighting bravely and valiantly in the Donbas, as they have for the last 8 years, as they have since the invasion began, and we're doing everything we can to try to get them more assistance as fast as possible.
As the U.S. approves $800 million more in assistance, Zelensky is asking President Biden to come to Ukraine.
I think he will.
It should be utter madness for the President of the United States to go.
President Biden focusing on helping Americans cope with the effects. Under pressure to act on rising gas prices, greenlighting new drilling for oil and gas on federal lands, rescinding a campaign promise.
No more drilling on federal lands, period. Period, period, period.
Pain being felt near and far as Russia's bloody invasion approaches its third month. Susan McGuinness, NBC News, Washington.
And coming up after this break, our jolly green dinosaur Dan Romano takes Eureka's perilous plunge. Please stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. In case you missed it, dozens braved the frigid waters of Humboldt Bay over the weekend to raise money for a good cause. Annual perilous plunge along the Eureka waterfront on Saturday. And as you can see, 40 participants donned wacky outfits before making the jump into the cold bay waters. It was all part of a fundraiser for the Redwood Discovery Museum. This event had been on pause for a couple of years due to the pandemic, and Dan was excited to help them restart it. Dan also wore a costume and made the plunge himself. In all, Dan and the 40 other plungers helped raise about $20,000 for the Redwood Discovery Museum. Dan's been a busy guy today, too, tracking down rain and wind that has packed a punch. It seems we have survived the heaviest of the rain and wind fury for today. The height of things were experienced around the 3 o'clock hour when the National Weather Service issued a warning about strong winds and pea-sized hail. And Humboldt County says the McCann Bridge is currently closed due to high water from today's rainfall. Our Chief Meteorologist Dan Romano will have a look at the additional rain that lies ahead for us after a short break. But first, here's the almanac. Welcome to sports. I'm sorry, but Maxwell Glenn has the night off, but he was no doubt watching the Warriors playoff game tonight. Golden State taking a 2-0 lead in round 1 of the playoffs after tonight's win over the Denver Nuggets. The Warriors' Steph Curry coming off the bench for 34 points in a come-from-behind victory, 126-106. But it was Jordan Poole who had a highlight reel night against the Nuggets, including some great dishes. He goes behind his back with multiple passes tonight, one of them to Klay Thompson for scores. Poole posted 29 points in addition to the great assists. While Thompson and Curry got hot at points, it was Poole who put the game away as the Warriors battled back from a double-digit deficit for the win at home. Game 3 will be Thursday night in Denver. Now to baseball, where tonight's San Francisco Giants game against the Mets was postponed due to rain in New York. That game will be made up tomorrow as part of an afternoon doubleheader. As for the Oakland A's, they return to the Coliseum tonight for their home opener after playing the first 10 games of the season on the road. The A's look sharp in their 5-1 victory over the Baltimore Orioles, even though the game was sparsely attended. And that's our look at sports. More news and weather after this short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and we're just over a half hour away from the midnight deadline to file your income taxes. And tonight the IRS says some Americans may get smaller refunds than they expected and that their checks could be delayed. Jen Sullivan has the details for you for those of you who are expecting a refund.
If you're expecting a tax refund this year, your payment could be smaller and come later than usual. The IRS says it's dealing with major processing lags, so if you filed your tax return electronically, it may take the IRS longer than the usual 21 days to issue a refund. For some families, that refund is their biggest cash infusion of the year. So, should you save it or spend it? Financial expert Ted Jenkin has these 3 money moves to help maximize your finances. Number 1, with rising interest rates, experts recommend you use that refund to pay off debt.
I mean, not all debt. You know, there's a lot of things now like auto loans and in some cases mortgages that people locked in at 1 or 2 or 3%. So I wouldn't use that money to pay that off. But if you have high interest credit card debt, absolutely.
According to IRS data, the average tax refund issued so far this tax season is $3,175. Because many Americans already got half of their child tax credit funds in monthly installments during the second half of last year, they'll likely get smaller refunds this year. Which brings us to money move number 2, build an emergency reserve. You'll want to set aside an amount that covers you for at least 3 months, preferably 6 months.
We often think, I'm not going to lose my job. My car won't break down. I won't have a water heater blow up in my house, but these things happen.
And number 3, set aside some cash for fun, whether it's a staycation or going out to a nice restaurant, concert, or sporting event.
So splurge a little if you have some extra money.
Jen Sullivan, Redwood News.
And Dan Romano is back with the last look at the weather outlook in our final segment after the break. We'll be right back.
Things are pretty quiet right now, but as we head into the overnight hours, we're looking at the possibility of another round of showers, some of which will have the potential to create some thunder, and snow levels will be about 3,500 feet as well, with temperatures falling down into the 40s for the most part, a little bit colder in some of the coldest valleys. Tomorrow, though, scattered showers, hail possible at the coast, away from the coast. We're looking at temperatures staying well below average, highs only in the 50s all across the region. John Kennedy, over to you.
Thank you, Dan. Now, before we go tonight, SpaceX has successfully launched a Falcon 9 rocket to outer space from here in California. The rocket from Vandenberg Space Force Base is deploying 2 surveillance satellites for the National Reconnaissance Office. The satellites will be used to scour the Earth's oceans for radio transmissions to triangulate and pinpoint the position of ships. The launch reused the same Falcon 9 rocket booster from a previous mission.
At some point, we're going to be able to look up in the sky and all we're going to see are satellites.
You could be right.
You know, instead of stars, it's just going to be a bunch of satellites.
Maybe that's true already. It was quite a spectacular launch, wasn't it?
I didn't see it, but I'm sure it was.
Well, maybe they can find some dry weather up there. Who knows?
We're not getting any.
No, not for a while anyway. Erica will be here with Redwood News Morning, and Dan, Maxwell and I will be back here at 5 o'clock tomorrow. We hope you join us then. Good night.
Take it easy, everybody.